The Palestinian Authority has turned down an offer by Israel to send in 1 million coronavirus vaccines or doses of the vaccine, I should say. The Palestinians saying the doses which Israel began shipping to the occupied West Bank are too close to expiring and do not meet their standards. Palestinian officials have come under heavy criticism on social media after the agreement was announced, many accusing them of accepting subpar vaccines and suggesting they might not be effective. Let's get you more on this. France 24's Irris Makler is standing by for us in Jerusalem. Irris, what more do we know about this refusal by the Palestinian Authority to accept the vaccines?
We don't know. It's quite a strange story. We heard there was 100,000 transferred this morning across from Israel to the Palestinian Authority. I actually saw footage of some people being vaccinated, and then when they examined the doses, they said no. They said they don't meet our standards, and then another announcement said it was too close to the date, but they must have known the dates. It does seem perhaps that this is a response to that criticism that you mentioned on social media. There's a lot of vaccine hesitancy in the Palestinian authorities and the Palestinian Authority amongst Palestinians in any event. So perhaps they thought we can't persuade them to take these vaccines, which are close to their expiry date anyhow and have come from Israel, because this is apparently not a deal with Israel, it's a deal with Pfizer. I am conjecturing that this is the doses that were promised by the US Secretary of State, Tony Blinken, when he was here, and he said America would send doses. I think this is being done through Pfizer, and perhaps they wanted to come through Pfizer and not through Israel, and especially not if it's this late, if they're going to be criticised for them.
All right, so Palestinians then scrapping that vaccine deal. Has there been any reaction from Israel about this vaccine deal being scrapped?
We haven't heard any reaction yet. In fact, it's been quite a strange story, because this morning there weren't any, no one spoke and said, here we are, we're doing this, these are the reasons. There were a couple of tweets, a tweet from the new health minister, his third day in the job, and then that was it until now, when also there hasn't been a real statement. There's also just been written things you can read. So no one has either nailed their colours to the mast saying you must have them, and no one is nailing their colours to the mast and saying we will not take it, I'm going to say so. It's quite a strange story, but I know that this is a pattern worldwide where wealthier countries vaccinate their populations first, and once they start to build up something like herd immunity, and Israel's been very successful at that, we've seen this in the US at the moment, then they look around and then they say, okay, we'll donate some of what's left over, some of what we no longer urgently need. But the Palestinians don't want it in these circumstances, it seems.
All right, Irris Makler reporting for us from Jerusalem. Thank you.